Okay, Beth, what we're trying to do is we're trying to set up a 6 o'clock meeting, executive session to do to do that first.
Okay. What day? Okay. Okay.
We're down here at 7:30 because Jacob can't tape until 7:30, but that's okay, it works out good. Jeff just agreed, 10 minutes upstairs, downstairs.
Okay.
Hopefully we won't have to meet again till we can skip a week. What I say.
I'm sorry? Oh, goodness.
Dara said Rich isn't coming tonight.
Okay, so it's just you and I. We'll do the best we can.
Yeah, he has to hold off on a couple things.
I've been absent from meetings and decisions have been made.
We'll see. We'll talk about it.
We'll see if we can align.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. Nothing to say no, nothing to say yes. We'll see.
Exactly.
We'll see how the flow goes.
I have like 26 hours of driving ahead of me in the next 48 hours.
Yeah,
The faster we can get there, I have to. We're going to be trying to breed one of our girls for the first time in 15 years. So
Oh,
I've
wow.
got to bring her to Michigan. So, and I'm leaving like first thing in the morning.
Oh, nice.
So.
You guys fine driving?
Well, I didn't get a dress. No, it's really good. She's like, that's the best. No, it's
Hey, Senor, how are you doing, Mr. Clark? Yes, I'm tired. It's been a week. It's been a life.
Is the whole water thing helping your business at all as far as what you guys do?
So, helping's not the term I would necessarily use. Let's just say it increases the intellectual stimulation of getting my job done and the urgency with which everything needs to be approached. Not that I am not always urgent and diligent anyway, but it does add a certain level of intensity, especially where we have a lot of new people in the program. So I have to play discipline chief for things outside of my discipline. Let's put it that way, because a lot of the tribal knowledge resides with about a half a dozen of us.
That's normally the way it is.
Yeah.
And if we apply the same thing to the municipal workers, then all the turnover things keep falling through the
Cracks. So,
Alright, ready?
yep.
Rich isn't coming. Good evening. Welcome to the Brookfield Select Board meeting for Wednesday, April 15th, 2026 at 7:01 p.m. at the Brookfield Town Hall. Please stand for the pledge. Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This meeting is being videotaped and live streamed. There is no public comment for this meeting. Signed warrants, fiscal year 2026-13, withholding for $90,988.32. Fiscal year 2026-15, withholding for $97,477.61. Fiscal year 2026-21 payroll for $199,197.96. And fiscal year 2026-21 accounts payable for $488,126.88. First thing on the agenda, Gay Road project discussion.
Yeah.
Beth, you want to take the lead?
I do, and I didn't do all of my homework. But do you have offhand what the amount of the grant award was?
969. Lori, you just want to come up,
Yeah, come on up.
please?
'Cause
And thank you.
The total grant was $1 million.
okay. So, right now, the projection is roughly $200,000 over that. I think we went a similar amount over on the Central Street project, because I know that we wound up having to fund from
Yes.
Chapter 90 and I think some other sources during the course of that project as
Yes.
well. So, what I wanted to talk about is at least get that transparency out there. That's what we're looking for from a forecast perspective of finishing that project. I want to make sure we start engaging with Highway about where we may need to start dividing the invoices coming in from Piapi relative to work that's within the scope of the contract that went out on the RFP versus any additional work associated with completing that, or including some of the work that was on the RFP. I just want to make sure we sever any work that's additional, like relative to some of the wetlands reclamation and what have you, would fall under the purview of the scope of the project, but that we keep to the sums and the items that are enunciated in the RFP in order to finish out the project.
Yep, so expended to date, you've done $839,979. So
Okay.
your balance in your grant is $160,020.91.
Okay,
160 what?
160,020.91.
okay. I guess my question would be, do we want to start by allocating the residual on the COVID funds to the completion of the project? Because it would meet the intent of what we had earmarked for that funding.
What's in there?
114,284.54
And we have to use that money when?
By-
By June, right?
by December 31st of
Yeah,
this
so
year.
we have a year,
Okay. Still though,
yeah.
it'd be a good use of it.
It would.
Yeah, it's the type of thing it's intended for,
Yeah.
actually,
Yeah.
fundamentally. So, I mean, fundamentally, that was my proposal, was to start there. And then to leverage Chapter 90 for the residual.
Yeah, how much do you think we're gonna, does he have an estimate?
He does.
Is this his
It's-
true
it's actually,
estimate?
that's his true estimate in terms of what they're expecting. I would add 10K, so what he's expecting is about 390, roughly, being the balance of the project in total.
You also still have 101,000 left in road reconstruction as well.
Right, right,
Oh,
but,
okay.
but part of the next conversation is the 191. I do, there's an exercise that I had requested, that I wanted to talk about, I think, under 5, if you don't mind taking it out of order, because it's related.
Yeah, that's fine, yeah.
And then
yeah,
in
we can
addition
talk
to the
about that.
regular Chapter 90, we still have our fair share money from fiscal year '25 that we never touched. So that's 102,281 that we never used.
Okay. So I guess my question is, do we want to establish, vote an order of operation in terms of allocating funds to the completion of the project?
Yeah, is there any that expire soon, I guess, that we're gonna,
I would personally use up the ARPA funds first
First.
because they do expire December 31st.
okay. All right.
Other than that, nothing has an expiration.
Okay. So I would say, yeah, I would use those first, use that up first.
Okay, so, so I would think it would go ARPA, fair share, and then, I mean, and I'd be interested in hearing what Kyle has to say about Chapter 90 versus road reconstruction. I think part of that, the decision process would be, and I don't think we need to make the decision like this minute because we're not out of money yet.
Yeah,
And things may come in or go out.
yeah,
but I really want to get that audit of what should have been assigned to road reconstruction relative to this project of like the town contribution, to help us address the overall budget tightness that we're experiencing, as well as just making sure that the work was allocated to the appropriate accounts for the work done. So for anybody who hasn't been part of the emails that have been going on in the background or in the conversation, was I requested of Lori and the highway superintendent to pull a full audit of the payroll associated with the work out on Gay Road. One of the means that we've used historically in order to minimize our formal staffing levels and our like operating budget expense at highway is to, when we do work associated with road reconstruction, real deep work like what we've got, is actually moving the payroll over to either Chapter 90 or the road reconstruction account. I believe Mr. Clark's payroll had already been moved over to Chapter 90 for that work. Okay, it would be usual and appropriate for the highway wage expenses that we had adjacent to that project to go either to road reconstruction or Chapter 90. I think once we have a number, we need to come back and talk about it. That would be my recommendation tonight, just to let everybody know, hey, that's what we're gonna do, because we've had the conversation about of where we're gonna end up the budget. I think from a standpoint of properly spending what's been allocated for the work, that puts the town in a better position overall from a budget perspective. We haven't really been touching our Chapter 90 because of kind of like the growing pains and figuring out like how the flow of all that works, right? And Kyle and I have had some conversations about making sure that we understand going forward, especially for these big projects, how to be more proactive in coming to the board, having this conversation about what's the right budget to hit in order to meet the intent of both the project work, the way the budgets are laid out, and making sure that we call it in my other job, in my day job, color of money. Like, we have annual contracts and we have 3-year, like, longer term contracts and development contracts and this, and like, I might be charging 5 different government contracts in a single day. We have this similar problem for the highway department fundamentally, in that your work can fall under one of 5 different accounts on any given day. It's like the difference with snow and ice and regular expenses. So I'd like to make a motion that we acknowledge that we're going to be looking at about $390,000 that we need to allocate for Gay Roll work, potentially over and above. Well, actually, no, because he's saying he's projecting about he's projecting about, what is that, 220 over, so we'd be looking at, we're talking 390 total. We've got 160 left. You're gonna have to deal with me doing public math. So, we'd be looking about $230,000 shortfall based on what he's projecting, right? So I'd like to make a motion that we allocate the ARPA money as a portion of the gap closure, and that we earmark the fair share money to cover the bulk of the balance, and then we'll reevaluate once we get closer to the end.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So there you go. We talked 1 and 5. This is going to be a quick meeting. Unless you had more to say on 5. Okay.
Yeah, you saw this, right? It's in your packet, I think.
Yeah, it probably is.
Yeah.
Okay. I had not seen the math.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Okay. So do we want to just go ahead and vote that then? Are we confident with those numbers, or?
I am. Yeah, she gave me all the documents that I needed to pull
Okay.
those numbers.
Have you seen it? Are you
Nope.
good with it?
Okay.
I don't know what
Okay,
you're
so,
talking about.
if it's
All
in
right.
my packet here, so we referenced it. I didn't realize that we had the math already. I apologize. I am not caught up on my email.
Sarah, can I have the original?
Kyle did and they're pretty round numbers, would be my only concern, but is that pretty accurate?
I have no idea what you guys are even
Okay.
referencing.
Yeah, can he round, or is he gonna have to actually?
If these are not the exact numbers, then no, you can't
Okay.
round.
All the
Okay.
hours in the pay rate are exact.
So in order for me to move any of this stuff, I need the weeks and
Yeah, okay.
everything all the backup that goes with it, because it has to actually qualify to be moved.
Right, that's what I figured, this looked a
Yeah.
little too round for me.
Yeah.
So, well, Kyle, I'll get with you about what we need in order to come back and vote this in another meeting. But just so that, just for awareness, what we were referencing, Kyle's current estimate is around $43,000 that would move from highway salary to probably either road reconstruction or Chapter 90, so. But we won't
Okay.
cover the rest of it today, we've
Yeah.
got to get the
Yeah.
exact numbers
Yep.
in week by week,
Yeah.
so.
Breakdown, okay.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, both of you.
Thank you very much.
Number 2, booster lighting for Lewis Field discussion. Do you guys want to come up?
You guys both already got a copy?
We do.
Yes.
Did you also receive a copy of, sorry, did you print out the fundraising proposal?
I did not, no, just the proposal. If
Okay,
anybody
yeah,
wants
that's
a
fine,
copy
yeah,
of
that's
it,
fine.
That's fine. That's more in-house.
All right, hi, I'm Eric Hawk, this is Sarah
I'm
Hawk.
Sarah.
We want to thank both of you guys for allowing us to be here today. So we have 4 daughters who play softball in Brookfield. We saw, one of the things we wanted to do is able to add and grow the program. You know, and we have, this is for both baseball and softball, and one of the ways we chose to do that was to start a Brookfield baseball softball booster club. It is a established 501c3 organization. So our big goal, our first major project we'd like to do is add lights to Lewis Field for the baseball and softball fields. To be clear, what we're doing is looking to completely privately fund this. We're not asking any money from the town. We would like to do this through our organization. Thus far, through some of our initial fundraisers, just in general for our booster club, we've already raised $25,000. We do have a full fundraising lighting campaign ready to go to help try and bridge some of those gaps. We also have the ability to write our own grants as a 501c3, which a big part of what they're looking for is what have you already have invested? You know, what are you already willing to do? So part of that initial fundraising is in order to either have that match that might be necessary. We preliminary looked into a few, but until we had actual approval, we didn't want to go too far with anything. That being said, because Lewis Field is obviously town property. We have already received approval from the highway department, from the zoning boards. We spoke to
Electrical.
we talked with the electrical inspectors. Everyone has given a email approval of yes, they'd be willing to allow us to move forward on this project. So on the proposal there, a big part of what we're looking at is as we grow our program, we only have 1 field. And for each team, we currently have 6 softball teams, all trying to utilize 1 field. On second field, there is not an option, right? So one of the things we're looking to do is extend time. They're able to do this. We play in the spring, we have a spring and fall season. So they would be used fairly regularly, but also with the idea that they would be there for town use as well. We are currently just looking to light the softball field and the baseball field, but with the infrastructure we're looking to put in, that's something that if in the future, if the soccer fields wanted to be lit, or the basketball court, one of the things we've actually already talked about is the electrical apparently is already run for the basketball court. We'd be willing to install one of the poles there, and I know the Friends of Brookfield had already verbally said they'd be happy to buy the lights for the basketball court as well. On there is a breakdown estimated cost of what things were, and I will emphasize that this is obviously an estimated cost.
Again, no cost to the town.
Yeah, right. But one of the things we're looking to do is offset some of our costs by using local resources and community. base resources. So for example, former Brookfield resident runs Hinkles and McCoy, which is a telephone pole installation company. Former Tantasco graduate, happens to be a friend of mine. He has already offered his company to install those poles at a significantly reduced cost based on the estimate. So your left column is what it would be without any support. The right column is what it would look like as we continue to add some of those community supports to the project. I've also broken it down into potential phases in case all of the funding does not come at once. We can break it down into first phase being the installation of the poles themselves. And then I did confirm with the electrical inspector that we would be able to trench and bury all the conduit, have that inspected and bury it without the wires being run. The two biggest costs we're looking at is the wiring itself and then the lights as well. We are looking to go with LED plug-in stadium lighting. One of the things you see as you drive around, you see these places that have lights and half of them are out and broken, right? So we want to be able to easily replace lights as needed without having to bring in contractors and everything else. That plug-in LED lighting is very effective in that nature.
We plan to fund the electrical through,
Yep.
like the electricity cost through the booster club
So
as
the
well.
estimated electricity cost with LED, the savings, based on the hours that you're using them, it's actually a very minimal cost. It's only about $500 to $600 a year to run those lights, and we would also be looking to pay that through our booster club as well. Again, this idea of no cost to the town. We understand budgets, things are difficult and tight, but this is a way we want to give back, and we also felt that it would have not only an impact on the community here, but all the surrounding communities as well. Kind of that idea of like, who didn't love playing that, I remember I got to play one game under the lights as a kid, and it was the most amazing experience, right? So we wanted to bring a little bit of that back here to Brookfield. And then also we've loved a lot of the things we've seen around town, the bonfire after the trick-or-treating this year, those types of things. Thought with more lighting at the field, that would extend the time that could be used. It's such a great community space, so we wanted to be able to add to that.
Great. So what do we need tonight? Just a motion to support it?
Okay, yeah.
And to pursue the grant?
Yes.
Pursue grants?
Well, no, it's more, we're looking for just town approval to move forward with the project, that you're going to allow us to do this project on what is town property. We would get all the proper permits, we go through all of the inspections, all of those things as well. But it would be something that would be hopefully low impact on time to the town as well. The only thing we are maybe hoping from the town is looking at perhaps maybe waiving a few of the permit fees. Obviously, we'd still pay for the inspections, their time is valuable. But other than that, and if not, it's not a big deal, we allocated all of those into the costs as well. The different studies, there's light studies, other zoning things. Talking with the zoning board, the way the lights are positioned and the positioning of the field, the biggest drawback can be the actual lighting of the field, the glare for the surrounding community members. They have new things that go on the lights that mitigate that, and the other value of the LED lighting is you can tilt and change the angle very easily. So that although with the way the fields are down low and everything facing in toward the field, it's not going to actually shine
Low
into
risk.
any houses,
Yeah.
but if it became an issue, it's something that could easily be fixed as well.
All right, so I make a motion that we authorize the Booster Club to pursue light in the field.
Second. Any discussion? I just want to say thank you both for taking on the project.
Oh, thank you.
I have a daughter, so yeah,
Oh,
definitely,
perfect.
yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
She'll be going to the elementary school one day, hopefully, so yeah.
That's
thank
kind of
you,
that's
yes.
kind of the hope.
Yeah,
Fantastic,
yeah,
thank you.
meaning- Yeah, we go to Lewisfield now, so yeah, it's great. It's a
We
great
did
thing.
have just probably one more thing we did need to get approved, that we were going to be putting fundraising things up around town, flyers
Yeah.
of that nature, things of that. One of the things we were hoping to do is also the old school thermometer on the common,
Like with the fundraising goal.
right, with the
Yeah,
fundraising goal. We
yeah.
kind of just want to.
I'll make a motion that we go ahead and put the fundraising thermometer.
All right,
on. I think
fantastic,
that's
great,
cool.
great.
Yeah, yeah.
I know Peter Mazzuzzo told me that he thinks there's one maybe floating around town still, but we'd be happy to build one as well.
Okay.
There might be one down basement, I
All
don't
right,
know.
I teach at Tantascwa, so I have connections through the carpentry department, all of those things. They've all already
Make one.
offered their help
Okay, perfect.
within
yeah.
this project as well.
Yeah, that'll be great.
All
That'll be
right.
nice to see.
Right.
Hopefully it grows quick.
Thank you. Our goal is to have it done for this fall season. That is the goal, and we are very motivated at this point. But again, with the stages, if it doesn't happen this fall, our hope is to have it completed by spring.
Okay,
Roger.
perfect.
Great.
All right, thank you very much for your
Thank
time,
you.
guys. Appreciate it
all.
very
Thank
much.
you.
We didn't vote on the thermometer.
On the phone.
We did vote on, I thought we voted on the other one, we didn't?
You did vote on the other one.
Yeah, we
They
did.
put
We
the
didn't do,
wrong
You did vote on the other one.
we're in discussion. We didn't, yeah, it's okay, Steve.
I think it's the point of order, oh, that's all right.
So any more discussion? Let's finish the first motion first.
Okay.
Uh,
So the motion to authorize the
Yes.
lighting of the field
yes,
is what should be on the vote.
yeah. Roll call vote, Sarah, or aye.
Coughlin, aye.
And then you want to make a motion to
Motion to authorize the use of the green for the thermometer for the fundraiser.
second. Any discussion? Any, aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Did you guys
Great,
want any
thank
extra copies maybe to leave here in case someone just wanted to look?
I will leave my copy,
Okay.
but if you have other copies,
Yeah, cut if you want.
sure, hand them out.
Yeah, can you make a couple too to leave around maybe?
Yeah.
And I'll talk with,
He has some right there that he's given out, right?
yeah,
But I can, yes, I'll make some copies. and
yeah,
put 'em
I'll
in.
talk to Steve too. Maybe Steve can post it on the website. I'll talk to him after. All right. Number 3.
Okay.
Appoint, are you ready?
Yep.
Appoint Bruce Clark, Water Commissioner for unexpired term.
Okay. So moved.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just make sure you sign that, please. Sarah. I made
I'm the
appointment
clerk.
slip. Oh, yes, you have to
I'm the clerk.
Now, I just put May
Thank you, Bruce,
2026,
for
but I don't
volunteering.
know the specific date, but we'll put it in.
For a day rate for full crew and for a bucket truck. And then you put that out, we put that out the bid and we can wait till we have a CPO, right? I mean, if we've got the state contract, at least we have a, let's call it an emergency valve for it. But I would like to get in the position that we have a relationship with a vendor that we know is gonna show up and we know what the cost is gonna be. And at least see if we can beat the state contract. And when an RFP goes out, if it doesn't beat the state contract money, we just use the state contract.
Do we need a CPO to put out that contract?
We need to send out a compliant request for bid, but it's not that hard to write up a compliant request for bid. We probably have 1,000 examples of tree contracts that we've put out before.
So I just wanted to add, we've always had a contract, local contract for trees. We've never used the state contract for trees.
Well, I know that.
Right, and we had
That's what's freaking
one.
me out.
So I thought we had obtained one at the beginning of this year, and I was just looking back through my notes, and I see that we probably stiffed the gentleman that did all the tree work, because I returned all the bills in August and said that he needed to get a contract with us, and I don't see that that ever happened. But we've always had just a local contract. We've never used the state bid for trees.
Yes, ma'am, you are 100%
Yes.
correct.
So all you have to do is use the standard template that we've used every year.
So we've got
Yes.
1,000 copies of the
Yeah.
RFP that goes out for that.
And it's the same 3 people that bid on it every single year, and it's honestly, it's the same person that wins every year. I'm not gonna announce who it is, but, yeah.
So where's this information?
It would be in the highway files.
Yeah.
You guys have to do the bid.
Yeah, there's probably like 18 copies
Yeah.
of that bid sitting in a file cabinet down there, or on the computer. If you want help, I'll come down and spelunk.
Okay,
So, I'm a good file spelunker.
okay.
So. That's a real word, people.
Are
Don't
you
laugh
su-
at me for using it.
Are you sure?
That is great imagery. Yeah, it's not used very often, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay, great. And then, we didn't vote to tell him to go get a bid, but
No, we don't. I wouldn't
that's
think.
that's
Yeah,
within the
within
purview of his
yeah, he
job,
can do it.
so.
Yeah. Okay.
Sign community. So we're up to 12.
Yeah, 12, signed community development block grant, CDBG, environmental certifying officer.
Okay. What is the role of the environmental
It's just signing, believe me, that, when I talked to, the person from CMRPC, they said, because I'm here, I would be the logical person, it's okay.
All right, I move that we, appoint,
Yeah, is this for the applications?
I don't know, believe it is.
so I guess we will.
You'll see it anyway.
So I move that we designate, Karen Trainer as our environmental certifying officer.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And I move that we acknowledge the police report for 226.
Okay.
Okay, you want me to?
Yeah, you wanna make the motion?
Okay. I move that we enter into executive session under exemption number 3 to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigation position of the public body and the chair so declares.
I declare in second.
Okay, and not to reconvene in open session.
Roll call vote, Campbell, aye.
Coughlin, aye. As a water customer, I really appreciate you volunteering,
Yes.
sir. I don't know if you want to sign it and go swear in.
Well, no one's here.
Yeah, Mike's on
Oh,
vacation.
Mike's not here today?
Yeah,
No, he's
Mike's
on vacation, right?
Unexpected
Hi, who?
vacation.
Yeah.
He's on an unexpected vacation.
No hours
No.
tonight.
Thank you. Fair enough. Thank you.
Okay, number 4, cost of living adjustment, COLA discussion / recommendation. Rich did ask for us to put this off, but I do kind of want to talk about it at least and get the discussion out there and then
Okay.
vote, I guess, later, but I kind of do want to have a number or be on the same page of where we're going to go and discuss. I'm going to be honest, I've done no research on what other towns are doing or even what a number to start at, so.
I'm going to start the same place that I wanted to start before, which is 2.8, which is the Social Security COLA. Which I see Lori
Lori.
nodding. I wouldn't be surprised if that's not what a lot of communities are starting at from their budgetary planning perspective. And given Prop 2.5, I usually say it has to be at least 2.5 and more if the COLA is higher.
So the federal COLA is 2.8. Most of my towns are starting at 2.8, and if they can't fund the 2.8, they're going to 2.5. So, and I've got most of my other towns are done.
Okay.
Almost everyone went with 2.8. I have one town sitting at 2.5, only for budgetary reasons.
That was my question, so is there any town asking for an override that is at the 2.8 or the 2.5?
I have
Any
one.
town?
I have one town going for override, and we're not doing COLAs.
Okay.
Not at all.
Yeah, but we're not going to need an override.
No, just from
No,
perspective.
no, we're not even. No, we're not
We're
even
not even
close.
close.
No, not
No,
even close,
not
but
even close.
just for perspective, okay.
I think personally, I would start at 2.8. We're gonna finish up the budget tomorrow night with advisory.
Do you know what they're gonna recommend, or do you know what they're,
We haven't discussed it yet.
I think they were waiting
We're
for
gonna
us.
discuss it, I'm gonna discuss it with them as a group tomorrow night when we finish the budget.
Okay.
And then we're gonna transfer the budget over to you guys, but I think we're still sitting pretty comfortably where we could do 2.8. But unfortunately, like I've told every town, we're still stuck at the first round of state numbers. And our first round of state numbers, as with all of the 5 towns in our district, our numbers come in lower than the numbers we actually received last year. And that's only because of school choice and charter. Nothing's leveled out, so Our state aid should be expected to come up like 200,000, so our revenue still sits a little low. So
Yeah,
it's-
but that was the same thing last year. Last year, the first numbers were horrible for
They
this
were.
area.
It's
They were
unconcerning, but it's just, the only problem we're having now is we're creeping on the end of April and we're still at round 1. We should be at 3 by now.
Yeah.
But they're stalled out, but we have to keep moving. So I'm projecting things with an increase on last year's state aid number. Minimal, but an increase.
Yeah.
Okay,
So I personally would go with 2.8.
okay, and you're good with the 2.8? Okay,
So I move that we use as our planning number for our budget, a COLA 2.8.
second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Number 6, you shouldn't have gone back to your seat, Lori. We already talked about 5, so we're gonna skip to 6. Freeze on expenses for fiscal year 2026. I just put it on the agenda to bring up the discussion. She mentioned it last meeting, because of the possible warrant article for FY '26 for the budget, so.
So we have a couple issues that we're facing this year, and it's only because of the way we were budgeted going into this year. Our previous town administrator under budgeted the technology line
Badly.
Yeah.
by over $30,000. So we are trying to figure that out. We also had a 20% increase to our health insurance in October. We opted to not go to special town meeting to fund it because we do keep a buffer in the health insurance account of anywhere between 50 and 60,000. And that is generally to increase for family plans at the school for unknown expenses if they have someone retire and come off a single plan or they add someone onto a family plan. I was confident in October that we could use our buffer and that would cover the 20% increase, and it's going to. However, I usually use that buffer of 50 to 60,000 to fund any unknown expenses at the end of the year. I don't have a buffer now. We also had a over $10,000 increase to our general insurance that we were not told about until a month ago when they just sent us the bill. So that we keep $10,000 as a buffer in that account for deductibles. Our buffer is now completely gone, and we've spent every penny in our general insurance. So we're short in accounts. We are short in, we're short. We're gonna need every penny to do transfers. The reserve fund is empty. Yeah,
Almost.
$5,000 left. So we have a lot of expenses coming up. We're only at the middle of April right now. The highway department needs more money. There's still 2.5 months, left in the year. So any unneeded extra expenses, they really just need to be held off on.
So I know we canceled the department heads meeting. Have we made any statement or clear communication to department heads about the reality of the situation that we're in?
No, not yet, only because Lori just brought it up last week,
Yeah.
so no,
Okay.
not yet. But I think that's important.
So I mean, I think the first step is just the communication,
Yeah,
right?
because I'm gonna say that it's not a reflection on them.
The department heads.
No,
Yeah.
it's
right?
not, and I don't like freezing expenses. I think it makes the
Bad
department
business.
heads,
Yes.
they lose control. It's not a good practice to get into. Unfortunately, this has no reflection on them. It has nothing to do with them. It was poor budgeting from last year.
Right.
The budget was not even funded enough to fund our IT budget, the contract we had.
Based on the contract that we had, and the contract we had is not is a very fair contract when you take a look at
Oh, it
quoting
is.
in the market. It's not
Yep.
like we're
Yeah,
overpaying
no,
anything.
no.
Right.
It was just
So-
not budgeted correctly.
Right. So, I mean, and that's the whole reason for the earlier conversation with Kyle, is that some of those expenses very legitimately need to be moved off the expense line, right? But I think what would be advisable, rather than making it necessarily a directive stranglehold. I think what we do is phrase up an appropriate communication that says, hey, department heads, we need you to rally the wagons, right? Here's what's driving it, the health insurance jump, the general insurance jump, the inept budgeting on the technology line. And just say, hey, if it's anything that can get delayed till after June 30th, delay it.
Right.
Right? And I think I would like them to bring anything over 500 to the select board, but if it's something that's a minimal expense that they really feel is necessary, I'd like to at least just send the message, minimize what you can. If it's over 500, please bring it to us just so that we have an understanding of what bigger hole we might be digging ourselves.
Right.
More for the visibility than for us to say necessarily no. Because if it's critical enough for them to bring it to us, we probably are gonna need to spend the money anyway.
Yeah.
So that would be my recommendation. I wouldn't put a total freeze on
Freeze,
all
no.
spending. I think
No.
it's a.
No,
And I didn't think it should be a total
No,
freeze.
I
I just
didn't
thought
either,
there
but I
needed to
just-
be a limit, just because I'm realistically gonna need to be able to transfer it
yeah.
from every line possible, just to,
Try to balance it out.
right.
Yeah.
So do you want to draft it? Do you want me to draft something?
Yeah, I'll
and
draft
send it?
something, yeah.
Okay.
I'll draft something together, and then I'll have Karen, send it to Karen, I'll have Karen send it out to them.
Yeah, so I make a motion
And
that.
then when we make the next department heads meeting, we can also bring it up, talk about it.
Yeah, so I'll move that you, draft and send a communication to that effect.
Jeff?
I know there's no public comments, but I just wanted to make one small comment.
Do you want to
In your role as the chair of the,
Right.
financial committee or
Jeff Clark, 111 Brunel Avenue. I've already received a few calls asking for advice because this rumor has started. And so I think the sooner that gets, and again, I'm just sort of using common sense and saying, look, you know, if there's an invoice that needs to be paid, you know, you at least,
Yeah,
you
pay it,
have to at least put it through and then, you know, let the powers that be decide how they want to handle it. But you can't just, you know, not just leave it sitting there. And so I had some conversations on that, and I just, you know, common sense advice. But I think the sooner that something comes out, because again, you know how rumors, and we don't
Move.
want a repeat of last year with that whole issue, so.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
You want to finish that vote?
Yeah.
You move the Sarah draft?
Oh, you're
And
done.
we send a
Second,
communication to that effect.
discussion. All in favor?
Aye. Okay, bell tower, we are up to two quotes. One's actually a quote, one's actually a formal no quote, because they can't meet our timeline.
Oh,
I have,
good, okay.
I have a request out for a third quote. I'm gonna follow up via telephone, because I had emailed the specs and the timeline to a place down in Middletown that does historical restoration on these type of buildings, but they haven't gotten back to me yet, so, I will wrangle either a quote or a no quote out of them. And so hopefully by our next meeting, actually, what I would like to get, just because we are getting close to that timeline in terms of getting it done, is I'd actually like to make a motion that, provided all of the bids comply from a 30B perspective of being under 50,000, that you'd authorize me to go ahead and accept the lowest appropriate bid.
Yeah, especially because we don't have the 21,000. So we're gonna, right now, so we're gonna have to upfront the money and get.
Right, and get reimbursed from the state,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah,
So just for the sake of
Yeah,
us being
timing and
able to
everything.
move
Yeah.
where we're currently,
Yeah.
then I would just ask that you let me just follow it through
Yeah.
and once we have appropriate quotes, get it moving.
was that a motion?
That's a
Second, if it
motion,
was.
yeah.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Number 8, town administrator discussion.
Okay.
I guess we can talk about 8 and 9 together if you want to, town administrator
Sure.
discussion and the town administrator search committee charge. Gonna go hand in hand.
They do. So we had already said we were going to be looking for a permanent town administrator with the original understanding that Bob was going to be with us through the end of the year. That hasn't necessarily panned out. So I think from a town administrator discussion perspective, I guess my first question, do we want to go ahead and handle 9 first regarding talking about for that permanent position,
Sure,
the potential establishment of a search committee?
sure.
With my best friend co-pilot, I in the interest of full disclosure, drafted a charter that's a little more formal than our average charter relative to these sort of committees, but I think it's important to make sure that we're like defining what the role is and what's expected. It fundamentally says to establish a committee responsible for recruiting and outreach, application review, interviews, reference and background review, and giving a slate of finalists to the select board for final interviews, and a written summary of the committee's evaluation process and rationale.
I have a question. Was the department head on it last time?
I'm sorry?
Yeah?
Yes.
Who was it?
Myself and Mike.
Yeah. So, and for construct, I was going to recommend 5 committees up to 2 alternates. And it may include, and I actually missed one person because I don't necessarily want to exclude you from being on there, and I just realized the language would actually exclude you, Lori, is originally the membership phrasing we had in here was 1 or more select board members, optional at the discretion of the board. Town officials or department heads, we can only do 1, actually, we can't do the or more since there's only 3 of us and that would constitute a quorum.
Yeah.
Town officials or department heads, actually as the representative of the town accountant, I think that would include you. Okay, so then we wouldn't need to change the language. Residents with relevant professional experience and non-residents with town administrator experience informally state they will not be applying. Because that has actually served us pretty well in the past to be able to leverage people with experience in the town administrator role. The committee shall appoint and determine a chair of the committee from their membership. It outlines that they are obligated to honor open meeting law, but they, unlike us, can do executive sessions for the purpose of interviews, right, and reviewing resumes. Just some boilerplate language about any expenditures and applicable procurement law, and that they'll inform us of their progress at appropriate intervals. And then written reports or recommendations will be transmitted to the select board through the board's designated liaison or staff contact. And then they'll be, held accountable for making sure communication with the candidates is professional. So I didn't know if you had gotten a chance to review it, what you
Yeah.
thought about it.
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
So I'll move that
Give it a
we
chance.
adopt the Town Administrator Search Committee Charter.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. And I guess my second question relative to the topic of town administrator is, do we want to also see if there is an appropriate interim to cover us? Because we had a few people who were in the original population. I'd be happy to make phone calls out to some of the folks that had applied in the first round and see if any of them were interested in interim. I know one person worked for a nonprofit whose most of their work is evenings and weekends that might have an appropriate background to do some of the work. We could at least bring them in and talk to them And if we don't want to take anybody, we don't have to rush, but then that also gives us the potential option to have somebody to do the work, so.
Yeah, Lori and I kind of talked about getting somebody from the state or something, they're retiree, something, town administrators, so. I don't know, I didn't have another conversation with her, but I don't know, we're into budget season, it's busy season, so all the help we can get at this point.
So I'd like to make a motion that we post both for an interim and for the full-time town administrator.
Okay,
And just make it clear in the postings that you'll also, you know, hey folks, just because there was confusion last time, there is also a posting for this as a permanent position, just somewhere in the text, so that there's not confusion, that they're discrete jobs.
okay. Was that a motion? Yeah.
It was a motion.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is the pay the same as for the permanent? Is it all gonna be the same? We're just gonna say interim? Same hours? It was 30 to 40 and pay
So
was
the-
45 to 50 an hour. 45 to 55 an hour.
I would post it with lower minimum hours, same pay rate.
So what do you wanna say for lower
So
minimum?
I'd say probably go as
Yeah, and I would-
low as 20 hours, you think, or 18 for an interim?
Yeah.
Which, 2018, what do you want?
Move that we posted at 18 to 35
18 to 35. And
hours.
between 45 and $55 an hour, okay.
Although I've had some folks advise me against that, I think that's just
I hate
the
the two
clearest way.
postings, but we're just gonna have to do it.
Yeah,
I'd
and-
rather
and-
somebody
and-
than
And other people have said you never post that as an hourly position, and I'm sorry, it's just the easiest way to make the math work.
Yeah.
What's that?
You don't, they're never hourly positions for
I
town
know.
administrator.
I know. So, do we want to convert those to annual equivalent instead of hourly so that people don't get the wrong idea?
Yeah, sure, we can do that.
So figure out whatever that is times 2080 and then just say, you know, scaled per schedule.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Now, as far as the permanent one, the permanent one is already posted, and one of the places it's posted is in the Beacon, which comes out in the MMA website, and it's 45 to 55 an hour. So we're leaving it like that, is that okay? Because it'll be hard to change now, it's gonna run for the whole month.
See if we can change it.
Yeah, see if you can change it, reach out to them.
Well, maybe I can change the MMA one, but I
Yeah,
can't
change it on
the-
MMA.
On
No
the
one
web, but I
reads the-
can't change it in the Beacon, that's
It's
the
fine,
intent.
leave the beacon.
Huh?
If you have to leave the beacon, leave the beacon, nobody reads it.
That's bad, why are we in it if nobody reads it?
I hate to say that, but nobody reads the beacon. Everyone just looks on MMA.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah, but I've made changes on MMA, so we should be able to make changes.
Okay.
Okay. 10, options for, right, are we all set?
Yes.
10, options for Chief Procurement Officer, CPO.
So, right now, we don't really have one.
Nope.
So, and clearly from your concerns expressed at the last meeting, that's a problem, because we're getting
Yes.
getting into areas that are potentially tripwires. So I guess my question is, how do we want to approach that? Because, I mean, our options are to write stuff up and then do like a final pass with KP. I know you've taken the training, but I'm sure that you need that like a hole in your head. You know, we could put it out to quote to get somebody to be chief procurement officer, either as a fee for service. Like, one of the things I think I included in what I sent over is that we could put out an RFP for the service, where they can quote it either as a period of time for coverage, or as a fee for service per instance, and they could submit the quotes to us in either construct.
Did you know that Lynn offered to do this, and she
Okay.
has experience with it, Lynn, the grant writer?
Okay. So I didn't know that option.
I
so-
didn't know that either.
Yeah, because she does that for other towns.
and I'm gonna be
That's what she does.
honest, I'm hoping, praying, please, that the town administrator.
Well, eventually, well, that's why I'm
Yeah,
saying
yeah,
it's only
yeah,
really for a period of time. Like,
yeah.
my recommendation was just gonna be from May 1st to like
The
end of August.
Maybe.
And that was from a standpoint of even if we did bring in a new town administrator, it would be one less thing they'd have to worry about the day they walked in the door, right?
Yeah.
But at least we'd know we have that coverage and know who we're going to, so.
Yeah.
So my thought was just to put out an RFP, and if Lynn is an option, we could talk to her about it.
Yeah, I think we should do both. I don't wanna say no to not doing the bid or the RFP. I mean, I hate spending money, but it's important for the town to follow chapter 30B and to have a procurement officer, and with the town administrator lacking, yeah, I'm definitely open to it, at least seeing quotes, not saying that we have to.
It doesn't obligate
I don't even
us,
know
like
what it's
the
gonna
language,
cost,
the
but
language,
yeah.
the language in the RFP that I sent over, did you get a copy of that? Cause I did send that over, but I don't see it in the packet.
I don't remember seeing it.
I'm pretty sure I did, and if I didn't, then I apologize. I can forward it to you after, but I thought I had included you on it, but I had sent over some examples of the
Yeah, you did,
RFP
CPO.
work. So if I missed you, Karen, I apologize. But again, me and my best friend went ahead and made some language up, so.
Yeah, I'm open to the idea,
Okay.
seeing where it goes. I can reach
Alright.
out to Michelle too, see if she has an RFP or whatever
Yep, so
that's done to follow.
I move that Sarah be empowered to make the decision about posting an RFP for, a CPO for the town.
Second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, 11, tree contract discussion, emergency and routine.
Okay. I have a problem with the fact that if we have
I got
a
questions.
tree come down in this town currently, we don't have a standing contract, as I understand it, outside of, I guess, going to one of the state tree contract guys, and just, if you can help me understand, just make sure that I understand what our process is right now if we need to take any number of trees down. Like, do we have somebody that is obligated to support us or that is on contract to support us relative to
No
trees?
current contract, no.
Okay. Do we have a listing of companies on the state contract that we could call and expect to get a price and not necessarily have to go out to bid for it?
Yes.
Okay. Are you comfortable with just using folks off the state contract, or do you feel we need somebody that we can call in an emergency situation?
I mean, I did write up a tree page
Report?
in your packets,
Yeah.
listing all the work that was done.
I'm not saying that
Since
we're
my
not
hire.
taking trees down, so don't get me wrong.
No, it's just the way it happened this past year, it just wasn't something that I had enough time to manage, putting out a tree contract.
Actually, it lowers your time having to spend doing stuff when you have a tree contract, but that's okay. At least I'm of the opinion, based on what I've seen historically, right? We don't necessarily like list, hey, these are the 128 trees you want to take down this year. Typically, that contract goes out for, like, give me two prices, one if you only send a bucket truck operator and the aerial folks, and we handle the brush, and the other if you're sending a full crew. And you get in-paper quotes for that work on a daily basis of what the fee is,